When will we know that civilization has finally ended? Anyone? We will know when civilization has finally ended, when Shakespeare's words are no longer voiced by us and are no longer heard by us. And that was my motivation for creating the Young Renaissance Scholars Actors Studio. Fortunately, we have an entire band of young people, all of them different. It seems like not one of them has anything in common. But what they all have in common is some innate, thank you God, innate human impulse to perpetuate civilization. Well, the flag of civilization, that is particularly the great Western European Renaissance, was planted right here, probably where this library now stands. And the year was 1540. These men of the Renaissance came in with their ideas, with their lutes, their music. They even had theater. They had poetry. And they intended to plant the flag of civilization here. Well, that only goes to show that it can be planted anywhere if one simply desires to do so. Well, the year was 1540, 24 years before the author of the words you're about to hear was even born. Think about that. But the Renaissance has come back. It will always come back as long as there are people such as yourselves who are willing to support it by your kind indulgence. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce our director, James Ireland. Thank you.
I'll make this quick. Did everybody get a program? Does anyone not have a program? You want one? Anybody else? Everybody has a program? I just wanted to say there has been one alteration to this program, and that is for the scene of the Tempest today, the role of Trinculo will be played by my son, Joshua Ireland. He wears many hats already, so there's just one more to add to that. So, without further ado, Young Renaissance Scholars!
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail, unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, who in fair round belly with wood cape lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose will save the world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble pipes to whistle in their sound. Last scene of all to end this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. me.
No, you're not. Tell me who you are.
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and I had my good wit out of 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he ever make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he's the Prince's jester. A very dull fool. His only gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him. And his commendation is not only in his wit, but in his villainy, for he both polices men and anchors them. I'm sure he's in the fleet. I would he avoid me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do, but break a comparison or two on me, which peradventure not marked or laughed, and strikes him into melancholy, for the fool eat no supper that night. Music for the dance, we must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning. Whoa! Yes!
She misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, could have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, hurling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at a mark with whole armies shooting at me. She speaks poniards and every word stabs. Would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly, while she is here, a man may live as quiet as hell in a sanctuary. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules turn spit, yea, cleft the clout to make fire too. You shall find her the infernal Ate in good apparel. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
What sport shall we devise here in this garden, to drive away the heavy thought of care?
Madam will play bowls.
'Twill make me think the world is full of rubs, and that my fortune runs against the bias.
Madam will dance.
My legs can keep no measure in delight, when my poor heart can keep no measure in grief. Therefore no dancing, girl, some other sport.
Madam will tell tales.
Of sorrow or of joy?
Of either, madam.
Of either, girl. For of joy being altogether wanting, it doth remember me the more of sorrow. Or if of grief being altogether had, it adds more sorrow to my want of joy. For what I have I need not to repeat, and what I want it boots not to complain.
Madam, I'll sing.
'Tis well that thou hast cause, but thou shouldst please me better, wouldst thou weep.
I could weep, madam. Would it do you good?
And I could sing would weeping do me good, and never borrow any tear of thee.
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. Know thou, villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon me in good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as is in Messina. And which is more, one that knows the law, go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and one that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Oh, bring him away. Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass.
With too much blood and too little brain, these 2 may run mad. But if with too much brain and too little blood they do, I'll be a cure of madmen. Here's Agamemnon, an honest fellow enough, and one that loves quails. But he has not so much brain as earwax. And the goodly transformation of Jupiter there, his brother, the bull, the primitive statue and oblique memorial of cuckolds, a thrifty, shoeing horn and a chain hanging at his brother's leg. To what form but that he is, should wit larded with malice, and malice forced with wit turn him to an ass, were nothing. He's both ass and ox. To an ox were nothing. He's both ox and ass. To be a dog, a mule, a cat, a fichu, a toad, a lizard, an owl, a puttock, or even a herring without a roe, I would not care. But to be Menelaus, I would conspire against destiny. Ask me not what I would be if I were not Thersites, for I care not to be the louse of a lazar, so I were not Menelaus. Heyday, sprites and fires.
All the infections that sun sucks up, from bogs, fens flat, and prosper fall, make him by inch meal a disease. Spare tell me, that I needs must curse, but thou not pinch. Frank new virgin shall pitch me in the mire, nor leave me like a firebrand in the dark. Out of my way unless he bid 'em. For every trifle they set upon me, sometimes like apes that mow and chatter at me, and after bite me like hedgehogs which like tumbling in my bare foot, one mouth that pricks at my footfall. Sometimes am I all wound with adders, blowing tongues to his fit to madness. Oh, no, here comes the spirit of his to torment me for bringing wood in slowly. I'll fall flat. The winds, you'll not mind me.
Here's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all, and another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Oh, yon same black cloud, yon huge one. Looks like a foul bomber that would shed his liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but to fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? He smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. A kind of the newest pork jar. Were I England as I once was, and had but this fish painted, not but a holiday fool would give a piece of silver. Oh. There would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man. And when they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar, they will lay out 10 to see a dead Indian. Oh, laying like a man and his fins like arms, I roar over my troth. I do now let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but rather an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Alas, the storm has come again. My best way is to creep under this mooncalf's gabardine, for there is no other shelter hereabout. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Here will thy shroud till the dregs of the storm be past. I shall no more see to see. Here shall I die ashore.
This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Well, here's my comfort.
Oh! The master, the swabber, the boatsman, and I, the gunner and his mates, the Mull, Meg, Marion, and Marjorie. But none of us cared for Kate, for she had a tongue with a tang and would cry to a sailor, "Go hang!" And so she loved not the savour of tongue or pitch, yet a tailor might scratch her where she did it. Ah! To see, boys, let hair go hang.
This is a very scurvy tune too. But here's my comfort.
Do not torment me, oh!
What's the matter here? Do we have devils here? Do you savages put tricks upon the men of it? I have not escaped drowning to be afraid of your 4 legs. Hath it been said as proper as any man has gotten down on 4 legs, did not make him give ground. And so shall be said again while Stefano breathes at his nostrils.
The spirits torment me, oh!
Well, this must be some strange monster of the owl, who hath got, as I take it, in a gule. Where the devil should he have learned a language? I shall give him some relief. If it but be for that, if I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he will be a present for any emperor who ever trotteth neath leather.
Do not torment me, prithee. Oh, bring my wood on faster.
He's in his fit now and doesn't talk after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle. If you've never drunk wine afore, you'll go near to remove him from his fit. If I can recover him and keep him tame, it will not take too much for him. He should pay for him that hath him, and that soundly.
Thou dost me, his little head. Thou wilt not. Know what by thy trembling, the crossbow works upon thee.
Oh, come on your ways. Open your chaps. This is what will give you language, cat. Open your mouth again. I can tell you this soundly, you will not be able to tell as your friend. Come on, open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be, but he is drowned. These are devils. Oh, defend me.
4 legs, 2 voices. This is the most delicate one. His forward voice is now to speak well of his friend, and his backward voice is to foul speeches and to detract.
Stefano!
If all the wine in my bottle can recover him, I will help his ague. Come, amen, I shall pour some into thy other mouth. Oh my gosh. Mercy, mercy. Doth thy other mouth call me? Oh, this is a devil and no monster. Ah, I shall leave him, for I have no long spoon.
Stefano, if thou beest Stefano, touch me and speak to me, Brian Trinculo, being interfered of thy good friend Trinculo.
If thou must be Trinculo, come forth. I shall pull thee by thy lesser legs. If any be Trinculos, these be they. Oh, thou art very Trinculo indeed. How comest thou to be besieged by this moon calf? Can he vent Trinculos?
I hid me under this dead moon calf's gabardine for fear of the storm. But art thou not drowned, Stefano? I hope now thou art not drowned. Is the storm overblown? Oh, Stefano, dost thou now livest? Oh, Stefano, to Neapolitan state!
Oh, do not turn me about, Prith. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things. If they be not sprite, to brave God, the best celestial liquor.
Here!
I will kneel to him.
Swear how thou escapest. How comest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou comest hither. I escaped upon the butt of a sack which the sailors heaved overboard. And by this bottle, which I made of the bark of a tree with my own 2 hands since I was cast ashore.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Here, swear as how thou escapest.
Swim ashore, man, like a duck. I can swim like a duck, I'll be sworn.
Here, kiss the book. Thou canst swim like a duck, but thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stefano, hast thou any more of this?
Oh, the whole butt, man. My cellar is hid in a rock by the seaside, so when my wine is in. How now, Mooncap? How does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon, I do assure thee. I was the man in the moon one time was.
I have seen in her. I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thy dog in thy bush.
Here, swear to that. Kiss the book. I shall fill it on with new continent swag.
By this good light, a very shallow monster. I, in fear of him, a weak monster. Well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of the island, and I will kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my God.
A most perfidious and drunken monster. When God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
Oh, kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
Come on then, down and swear.
I could laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. No, I could find it in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss, kiss.
But the poor monster's in drink. An abominable monster.
I'll show thee every spring, and I'll get thee berries. Plague upon that tyrant I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, the wondrous man.
I'm a scurvy monster, a drunken monster.
I prithee, let me bring thee with crabs grow, and I, with my long nails, will dig thee pig nuts, show thee a jay's nest, mid strike thee how to snare the nimble monster, or get the young scammels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
Oh, prithee. Lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo, the king of our company, that was being drowned. We inherit. Here and here. Bear my bottle. Fellow Trinculo, we shall fill him by and by again.
A howling monster, a drunken monster.
Farewell, master, farewell, farewell. No more dams I'll make for fish, nor fetch and furring I require, nor scrape trenchel, nor wash dish. Ban, ban, Caliban, as a great no master, a great no man. Freedom, pele, pele, freedom.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark, that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worst unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
He jests at scars, never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools to wear it. Cast it off. Oh, it is my lady, oh, it is my love, oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. Nay, I'm too bold, 'tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business to entreat her eyes, to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes would through the airy region stream so bright, that birds would sing, and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, if I were a glove upon that hand, I might touch that cheek.
Hi, me.
She speaks! Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art more glorious to me, being o'er my head this night, as a winged messenger of heaven unto the white, upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy-pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn by love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak of this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, although not a Montague. What's Montague? It's nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? Which we call rose, why any other name would smell sweet, so Romeo would. Or were he not Romeo called? Retain that dear perfection that he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word, call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou, bescreened in the night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance. And yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo? In a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place of death can shedding where thou art. Any of my kinsmen find me here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
Oh, not for the world if they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight, and, but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting thy love.
And by whose direction found thou out this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I'm no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore, washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden's blush bepaint my cheek, for which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain I would dwell in form, fain deny what I spoke. But farewell compliment, dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false. My lover's perjuries. Then say, Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkest I'm too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. Or if thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, that thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that thou overhearest eros where my true love's passion, therefore pardon me. Do not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver all these fruit trees.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Well, do not swear at all. If thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Oh, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden. To like the lightning which doth cease to beat, ere one say it lightens. This bud of love by suckers running this bud of love by morning no. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when we next meet. Sweet repose and rest, come to thy heart that is within my breast.
Oh, thou leave me so unsatisfied.
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine, for thou didst request it, and yet I'm here to give it again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and I give it to thee again, and yet I wish for the thing that I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet! Juliet!
I hear some noise within, dear love. Adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little. I will come again.
Oh, blessed night. I am afeard. All this being a night, 'tis but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, by a sleep to say we end the heartache and thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, or the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietest make with bare bodkin? For who would grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no travelers return, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than to fly to others we know not of? Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with disregards their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered.
Encore! Encore!
We have a young man,
Yes,
and it's a fantastic encore, actually.
yes.
So here it is.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Te comparo un día de verano.
Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
Vos sos más temperado y placentoso.
Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May,
El viento bate el capullito nano.
and summer's lease hath all too short a date.
Y el verano se pasa muy ligero.
Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines,
A veces quema el sol con su destello.
and often is his gold complexion dimmed.
Otras, sus rayos tórridos opacan.
And every fair from fair sometime declines,
Lo bello cede a veces de lo bello.
by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed.
Por suerte o naturaleza los atacan.
But thy eternal summer shall not fade,
Pero el verano tuyo no se amengua,
nor lose possession of that fair thou owest.
ni perderás tampoco lo que es tuyo.
Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade,
Ni la muerte usará su engreída lengua,
when in eternal lines to time thou growest.
si con versos eternos te construyo.
So long as men can breathe or eyes can see,
Mientras los hombres respiren y ojos lean,
so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
vas a vivir en esos que te lean.
young Renaissance scholars. Wow. Now, could you memorize that much?
No.
No?
That's why I'm not in the biz.
But I think it really staves off some bad things. You know, I think we all should be more memorized. People used to memorize whole books of the Bible. That's how they used to commit them to memory. And I don't think, you know, senility, dementia is such a thing back then. But for any, this is a free program. Any young people between the ages of 10 and 18 can participate for free. Every Thursday from 6 to 8 we meet here, and we don't just hash out Shakespeare, we have a lot of fun doing it. This is not some, you know, pedantic, really getting into the text, though we do that. We really explore the characters and the nuances and just have a really fun time. As you can, I think you can see those folks in the party scenes doing that. But without one person, this would not have all been possible. So I'd like to present the library director here, Joseph Charles Mackenzie. Mr. Mackenzie here is not only the librarian here, the director of library affairs here, but he's also a renowned sonneteer. He has published at least 2 books. He has one, Sonnets to Christ the King, and also has appeared published in the New York Times, among other esteemed publications. And today we did 2 sonnets. That's Sonnet 18, which Carmen and Joshua performed so lovely, as well as Victor, who performed Sonnet 116. But there are 2 other sonnets, that's Sonnet 29, 30, and 79, that used to be part of a child's repertoire, right, in school?
Yes, very much so,
yes.
in my day and age.
Yes, so I'll just leave the stage to you, sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. Only 2 sonnets, both of them pertain to my wife Elizabeth, who passed away in January. The first, by William Shakespeare, pertains to her because it's about the loss of friendship, of one who was a dear friend. The second one pertains to her because it was inspired by her, composed by me. James Sale of the Royal Society in London had once written that my only competition in the sonnet is Shakespeare. Well, he was absolutely wrong. We can only ever be but students of Shakespeare. So I'm going to recite a sonnet by the master and then one by a student. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone weep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art or that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contented least. Yet in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day, arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Thank you. Mackenzie, Sonnet 5, Sonnets for Christ the King, for Elizabeth. If charm were a country, then you would be its capital of many domes and spires, gilded and gleaming of a crystal sea, and graced with every art that love inspires. If beauty a nation, then you, its queen, wouldst wield the scepter of love's dazzling power, beguiling all thy subjects with serene and regal allure from a silver tower. Alas, the fairest flowers remain unknown behind the garden walls of married life, and thou, the loveliest, shouldst not bemoan the humble title of a poet's wife. 2 capitals yet made, these lines proclaim eternal love, and gild thy beauty's fame. So, the scene's never ending and you're boiling to death. Well, James Ireland from the...
All right. What a wonderful product. We'll do that stuff every day, too. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. To show our appreciation for what you've enabled us to do here. Emery, can you please come in here? Nice.
Oh my, oh my.
Yes, we have.
What have we here?
Just
A lovely basket,
yes.
a coaster, which is lovely, and then songs and sonnets of Mary Sidney, who was the sister of Sir Philip Sidney,
Yes.
Countess of Pembroke, and she was a great supporter of poets. And then, actually one of my favorites. And
Here, open it.
and then this is a book. I don't really, excuse me for putting you through all this, but it's just so lovely an idea. And I'm very, very moved. It's ridiculous because actually James Sale here from the Albuquerque World of Theatre has put in night after night. You have no idea the effort. It's not just Thursday nights.
Thank you.
And he's been doing it since last November. We've had crises of every kind. We've had triumphs of every kind. He's stuck with it all the way. That is what a true man of the theatre is. And the ultimate gift, which is my favorite play of all, The Tempest.
Yes. And if you'd like to see more of the young Renaissance scholars, we are actually going to be performing, for anybody who has tickets, the shows are sold out right now, up in Santa Fe at Los Golondrinas. On Sunday, September 14th, we're actually going to be doing 2 shows. We're the only young Shakespeare or a Shakespeare troupe of any type that will be performing. So that's really a blessing. So give it up once again for the young Renaissance scholars.